Welcome to another edition of our PHBA Parade of Homes. Today, a little bit different. I've got Grace with me, who you're actually the client. You're not the builder, you're not the renovator, you're not the supplier or the subtrade, you are the client. Grace, I wanted to have a chat with you today because you had a variety of contractors, suppliers, and subtrades into your beautiful condo, and I wanted to chat with you about what that experience was like and why it was important to you to bring in the people and the trades that you did.
Well, I would definitely call this an organic process. The vision was organic, and I needed folks who would be able to see the vision and help bring that to life. And it was an ongoing process. When I say organic, we did have a plan, but the plan changed as we went along. So I need folks that would be flexible and are willing to adjust. And I couldn't have asked for a more perfect team.
Well, and that's part of it, right? Is to put together that perfect team. And we always talk about that at the Perth Huron Builders Association, is the fact that, one, we always say call a member first. So a lot of our members are always working together, whether they be the various suppliers and subtrades and the contractors and the builders. But it's important for them to then all work together then for you, the client, because everyone is executing a different piece of that puzzle, of that organic piece that you were mentioning. So Chris at Teahen Construction, for example, he was doing your bathroom, I believe, whereas you had other people working on countertops, and you had other things. You brought in all your favorites here, there, and everywhere, and then you mixed and matched, which is not normally the norm. But I love that you did that. Yeah, but you're anything but normal, right? And I mean that in a very beautiful way.
A lot of people said I was crazy. This is not the first project I've managed, and I was lucky enough to work with people who would work with me, and I work with them. And the best part about it is that you used your hands like this. Is that I said they were like water. We were able to start the painting in one room while somebody else finished another, opposed to waiting to the end and then have, a month or so of painting. It really worked out well that the guys all knew each other, or they knew each other by the end of the project. We always had food on the table, coffee there, a very workable environment, and guys would hang around and talk with each other and exchange ideas. For instance, I went to Italy, fell in love with a fixture I saw. I came back and talked with Bevan and said, do you think Stratford Metal would do this? I talked with our electrician, Ian Roth, and said, do you think you could do this? So between the four of us, we designed and created a custom pendant for the kitchen.
So, and that's the team coming together.
Yes.
And not to mention that Grace feeds all of her people. So I think they want to come back and want to know what the next project is going to be as well.
That's when one of the gentlemen, one of the guys from Teahen, he goes, I said, tomorrow's your last day. He goes, we don't want to go.
Yeah.
So no, it was a really great environment. And, when we ran into any questions, whatever, Chris showed up on site. I mean, that was a small project for Teahen. So I was incredibly thankful that Chris agreed to do this, because I wanted to make sure the bathroom was done correctly, because we were doing some reconstruction. And he showed up 3 times, which he didn't need to, but he wanted to make sure that I understood what they were doing. It was really great.
Above and
really
beyond
great.
the call of duty.
Absolutely.
So to complete the story, to give you a full circle, I thought it would be appropriate to introduce you once again to a familiar face, Chris Teahen, Teahen Construction. Chris, you did a piece of Grace's project, and I wanted to chat with you a little bit about the importance of everybody, within the industry, within the construction industry, skilled trades, suppliers, all coming together when you're working with a client. What's the importance of that?
Well, it's really important for many reasons, I guess, for number one, to have a good final product for the customer, to make sure they're happy. And in order for that to happen with that amount of trades, especially on Grace's job, there had to be a good amount of communication, following the certain steps to make sure that it's ready for the next person to come in, and just respecting each other's timelines.
And that's not always the case. I mean, more often than not, you would either be the general contractor on that or completing the project from start to finish. But again, it's not you necessarily completing every single piece of the project, right? Here we're in your shop where you're making your cabinetry and all of the woodworking pieces here, but you've got other trades that you work with too, even at Teahen Construction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have a few different few different divisions, with our kitchen division and our stair division and plumbing and our construction division. There's lots of different moving parts within that, but it really works out really well on projects because we're able to have better timelines and again, better communication, organization, being able to house those. And in a case like Grace's, she was the general and she did a lot of the coordinating and stuff, and we were really happy to be a part of the job.
Before we go, we have spoken a lot about, you just kind of brought it up and it rang in my head. We've talked about the plumbing part of your business. We've talked about the cabinetry part of your business. Something that's a little bit newer is the stairs. Tell me a little bit about that. Not necessarily, you might not know about this, and I think it's really interesting.
Yeah, well, Steve, Gary, and I, we own a company called Shearer Stair Company, and it's in our front building here, and we do all sorts of stairs, whether it's oak, maple, steel and glass, 1, 2, 3, 4 stories. We work with a lot of builders in this area, but also with just private customers who would like to redo their staircase, or and oddly enough, a lot of the times it's better sometimes just to take the entire staircase out of the house, which seems daunting, but it's sometimes better. But yeah.
It's so interesting that stairs, I didn't know this until I learned this from you and from looking in what you're doing, how specialized stairs really is, like stairs really are.
Oh, it really is special. It's a special niche. There's not a lot of stair companies out there, and we were lucky enough. Ken Shearer, who did our stairs for many years, approached us and asked if we were interested. So it was a good transition. Ken still works with us, but yeah, it's been a great new adventure.
Yeah, and you always continue to grow. I never know when I'm interviewing you what we're going to be talking about next. So who knows? Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning into another PHBA Parade of Homes.